Hello, hello, and we are here to do story time. And you're looking at my beautiful Isabella Evie. She is just gorgeous. So let's get started. Today we are going to read Tangled. So let's get going. This is one of my favorite movies. My husband likes it too. Once upon a time, in a land far away, a single drop of sunlight fell to the ground and grew into a magical golden flower that possessed healing powers. The only person who knew of the flower was a vain and selfish old woman named Mother Gothel. For centuries, she hoarded the flower and used it to restore her youth and beauty. One day, the beloved queen of the kingdom fell gravely ill. The townspeople searched far and wide till at last they found the legendary magical flower. Mother Gothel looked on in horror as they uprooted her treasured flower. The queen drank a potion containing the blossom and instantly recovered. Soon after she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. The king and queen launched a flying lantern into the sky to celebrate the princess's birth. One night, Mother Gothel crept into the nursery, singing her secret song. She soon learned the flower's magic lived in the baby's hair. Mother Gothel greedily cut off a lock, but the hair turned brown and lost its power. To keep the magic, she snatched the child and vanished into the night. The king and queen were heartbroken. Each year on the princess's birthday, they released lanterns into the night sky, hopeful they see their daughter again. Mother Gothel raised the Princess Rapunzel in a soaring tower in a hidden valley. She treated Rapunzel and her hair as a prized possession. The outside world is a dangerous place, Mother Gothel said, convincing Rapunzel to protect her magical hair by never leaving the tower. But being confined never dampened Rapunzel's bright spirit. She and her friend, Pascal, the chameleon, did lots of activities, including Rapunzel's favorite painting. Her got a lot of hair. A lot of hair. On the day before her 18th birthday, Rapunzel wanted to break her routine. Each year Rapunzel had I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to read this. The dark page. On her break, her mysterious lights floating. Oh my goodness. Rapunzel had. I'll try this again. On the day before her 18th birthday, Rapunzel wanted to break her routine. Each year, Rapunzel had seen mysterious lights floating up into the night sky on her birthday. She felt they were meant for her. More than anything, she wanted Mother Gothel to take her to see them. Rapunzel, let down your hair, Mother Gothel called when she arrived at the tower. Rapunzel pulled her up, determined to ask for her birthday wish. I want to travel to see the floating lights, she blurted out. Oh, you mean the stars? Mother Gothel lied. That's the thing. Commented Rapunzel. I've charted stars, and they're always constant. But these, they appear every year on my birthday. Only on my birthday. I have to know what they are. Go outside, asked Mother Gothel in shock. Why, Rapunzel? Mother Gothel insisted that the world outside was far too scary a place for a weak and helpless girl like Rapunzel. There were ruffians, men with pointy teeth, poison ivy, the plague, quicksand, and snakes. The menacing description of life beyond the tower terrified Rapunzel. Don't ever ask to leave this tower again, Mother Gothel said, patting Rapunzel on her head. Rapunzel sighed and smiled weakly. Colors are really vibrant in this book. Okay. Meanwhile, in another part of the forest, a thief named Flynn Rider was on the run with his cutthroat accomplices, the Stabbington brothers. Okay. Flynn clutched a satchel as he came to an abrupt halt in front of a wanted poster of himself. Surely he was more handsome in real life. Flynn looked up and saw the palace guards on the cliff above them. He ran with the precious satchel, ditching the Stabbingtons, but the lead palace horse, Maximus, was already in hot pursuit. These are hard to read. The pages are dark. I'm sorry, guys. Flynn and Maximus furiously fought for the satchel until their battle landed them on a tree branch that extended over a cliff's edge. Flynn reached the bag just ahead of Maximus. Ha ha, the thief crowd, oh my goodness, crowed triumphantly, excuse me. Cracked, the tree branch splintered, and sent them both toppled into the canyon below. When they landed, Flynn took off, escaping the horse as he felt his way along a rock face. He was thrilled to discover a hidden entrance to a cave. Scrambling inside, he soon emerged to an astonishing sight. There in the center of a hidden valley stood an enormous tower. It was a perfect hiding place. Using 2 arrows, Flynn scaled the tower, Flynn scaled the tower, hopped through the open window, and breathed a sigh of relief. Clang! Rapunzel hit the intruder with her frying pan. He was out cold. Hastily, she stuffed him in a closet and propped a chair against the doors. Rapunzel felt exhilarated. Surely this act of bravery would prove to Mother Gothel that she could handle herself in the outside world. Noticing that satchel Flynn had dropped, Rapunzel reached inside and pulled out a gold crown, encrusted with jewels. She had never seen such a thing before. When she placed it upon top of her head, it fit perfectly. Rapunzel gazed into the mirror. Something seemed familiar. Rapunzel, let down your hair, Mother Gothel called. Rapunzel swiftly hid the crown before pulling Mother Gothel up into the tower. Oh, sorry. She tried to tell Mother Gothel about her brave act, but Mother Gothel cut her off, screaming, "You are not leaving this tower, ever!" Rapunzel was shocked, realizing Mother Gothel would never let her out of the tower. Rapunzel came up with an idea. She asked for some paint for her birthday. Paint that could only be found very far away. Relieved, Mother Gothel agreed. "I'll be back in 3 days' time," she said. After Mother Gothel left, Rapunzel pulled Flynn out of the closet, tied him to a chair with her hair. When he swore he wasn't there to steal her hair, Rapunzel pointed to her painting of the floating lights. Tomorrow they will light the night sky. You will act as my guide and take me to see them, and return me home safely. Then, and only then, will I return your satchel to you, declared Rapunzel. Flynn had no choice but to agree. Rapunzel was terrified. She had never been outside before. With Pascal on her shoulder, she leaped from their window and slid down her hair. Slowly she touched one foot to the soft grass and then the other. Woohoo! She exclaimed. Overcome with excitement, Rapunzel began to roll around on the ground. As Rapunzel explored the forest for the first time, she was filled with joy, but she also felt terrible guilt for betraying her mother Gothel. Let's just let's just turn around, Flynn suggested. I'll get back my satchel, and you get back a mother-daughter relationship based on mutual trust. Flynn failed to convince Rapunzel. No, I am seeing the lanterns, she insisted. In another part of the forest, Mother Gothel ran into Maximus. Fearing guards had come for Rapunzel, she sprinted back to the tower and realized that awful truth. Rapunzel was gone. Investigating further, Mother Gothel found the glittering crown and Flynn's wanted poster. She knew exactly who had taken Rapunzel, and nothing was going to stop her from finding them. Desperate to get his satchel back, Flynn came up with a plan. He would convince Rapunzel to return to the tower by taking her to a little pub called the Snuggly Duckling. When they walked into the pub, Rapunzel came face to face with the worst fears. The place was filled with the most menacing thugs and ruffians imaginable. Oh my. Flynn's plan worked. He was escorting a terrified Rapunzel to the exit when suddenly a huge thug slammed the door shut. and held up Flynn's wanted poster. Quickly, the pub thugs captured Flynn and began fighting one another for the reward money. Excuse me, ruffians? Rapunzel broke in. Is it possible to give my guy back? The thugs just ignored her and continued to pummel on Flynn. Rapunzel stood fiercely atop the bar and hit her pan against a giant pot. Bang! Put him down, she commanded. The thug stopped. Rapunzel explained that she needed Flynn to take her to see the lights. Haven't any of you ever had a dream? She asked. As it turned out, every one of the thugs had a dream. Suddenly, the royal guards burst into the pub, followed by Maximus and the Stabbingtons, the brothers now in shackles. Shackles. Where's Ryder? Where is he? Demanded the captain. Flynn and Rapunzel quickly escaped into a secret tunnel. Maximus sniffed out the secret passageway, and the horse and guards charged through the tunnel after them. From a window, Mother Gothel had watched the scene unfold. She realized Rapunzel hadn't been kidnapped. In fact, Rapunzel was the one in control. Approaching the first thug who came through the pub door, Mother Gothel demanded, "Where does that tunnel lead out?" My goodness. Meanwhile, the pursuers soon caught up with Flynn and Rapunzel in the tunnel. "Run!" Flynn cried. They raced out of the tunnel and skidded to a stop at the edge of an enormous cavern. Just as Maximus disarmed Flynn and Rapunzel threw Flynn her hair and held on tight as he leaped off the cliff and swung into the air. But Rapunzel and Flynn weren't safe yet. Flynn and Rapunzel swung down to the bottom of the cavern. The Stabbingtons who had escaped their captors sprinted after them, but a dam suddenly burst, filling the cavern with water. A giant wave washed the thugs away, along with Maximus and the guards. As Flynn and Rapunzel ducked into a cave, a stone column crashed to the ground, closing off the entrance. They were trapped. Water quickly began to fill the cave. Flynn cut his hand, trying to escape. But there was no way out, and the water was rising. "I'm so sorry, Flynn," Rapunzel said tearfully. "Eugene. My real name's Eugene Fitzherbert," Flynn admitted. Since they were telling secrets, Rapunzel declared, "I have magic hair that glows when I sing." Suddenly she realized her hair might be able to save them. Flynn was still reeling from Rapunzel's announcement when she began to sing, then dived underwater. He quickly joined her and was stunned to see her hair glowing so brightly. It lit up the entrance to the cave. Flynn spotted a small hole at the bottom. They had found their escape route. Finally, they were free. They dragged themselves onto the shore. "We made it! We're alive!" exclaimed Rapunzel as she helped revive Pascal. Flynn was in a state of shock. Excuse me. "Her hair glows," he murmured in disbelief. "Why does her hair glow?" Rapunzel pulled her hair from the river and began wringing the water out of it. "It doesn't just glow," she said calmly. Somehow the Stabbingtons also managed to survive. Mother Gothel was waiting for Rapunzel at the tunnel exit. When she saw the brothers emerge instead, she quickly formulated a plan, tossing them the satchel with the crown. She said, "Well, if that's all you desire, then be on your way. I was going to offer you something worth 1,000 crowns. It comes with revenge on Flynn Rider." Two identical, menacing grins spread across the brother's face. In a different part of the forest, Rapunzel wrapped her hair around Flynn's wounded hand. "Just don't freak out," she said, as Rapunzel began to sing. Her hair once again emanated a brilliant glow. Within moments, Flynn's hand was healed. Rapunzel explained her hair's magic and spoke about Mother Gothel and the tower. "You never left that tower," Flynn said. Finally, he knew the truth. When Flynn left to gather more firewood, Mother Gothel emerged from the woods. She informed Rapunzel that they were returning to the tower. Rapunzel refused to confess that she had met Flynn and they liked each other. Mother Gothel laughed. She told Rapunzel that Flynn only wanted the crown. Before Gothel returned to the forest, she gave Rapunzel the crown and dared her to test Flynn's loyalties. When Flynn returned to the campfire, Rapunzel said nothing of her encounter. The next morning, Flynn was awakened abruptly. Maximus had found him. The horse grabbed Flynn's boot and started to drag him away. Let's see. Okay, he grabbed Flynn's boot and started to drag him away. Luckily, Rapunzel saved him. Then she turned her attention to Maximus. "He's nothing but a big sweetheart," she said about the horse. Rapunzel begged the two to make a truce, at least for that day, her birthday. Maximus stuck out his hoof and Flynn extended his hand. They would cooperate for now. Just then a bell rang in the distance. Rapunzel followed the sound through the forest and up a hill where the entire kingdom came into view. It was breathtaking. Rapunzel gazed at the kingdom, then she was off. Rapunzel sprinted down the hill with Flynn, Pascal, and Maximus close behind. Her dream was just hours from coming true. Rapunzel walked through the gates of the kingdom and into the hustle and bustle of the town. It was the most exciting thing she had ever experienced. A little boy sold Flynn a kingdom flag with the golden sun symbol on it that he then gave to Rapunzel. Some little girl braided her long golden locks. Rapunzel then noticed a monostic on a wall. She was mesmerized. It was the king and queen holding a baby girl with striking green eyes, just like her own. Rapunzel and Flynn joined hands and began to twirl around the square. They were carried away by the music and the dance and the pure happiness they felt at being together. Later, Flynn led Rapunzel to a boat and rowed them to a spot with a perfect view of the kingdom As lanterns filled the sky, Rapunzel's heart soared. Flynn handed Rapunzel her own lantern and sent aloft in return. Rapunzel gave Flynn the satchel that she had kept hidden all day. She was no longer afraid. He would leave her once he had her. He had the crown. Just, excuse me, the romantic moment was interrupted when Flynn spotted the Stabbington brothers on shore. He quickly rowed the boat to land. "I'll be right back," he told Rapunzel. Flynn was ready to give up his thieving ways, so he faced the brothers and gave them the satchel, but they weren't interested. They wanted Rapunzel and her magic hair. Flynn turned to protect Rapunzel, but the brothers knocked him unconscious, tied him up in a boat, and sent him sailing into the harbor. Rapunzel waved anxiously, but Flynn did not return. The Stabbingtons approached her instead. They pointed across the water, where Rapunzel could clearly see Flynn steering a boat away from them. She called to him, but he didn't respond. Lying, one of the brothers explained that Flynn had traded her for the crown. In that moment, Rapunzel's heart broke. Mother Gothel had been right. Determined to escape, Rapunzel dodged the brothers and ran toward the forest. She didn't get far before she heard a scuffle and then Mother Gothel's voice. "Rapunzel!" Mother Rapunzel ran back. She found Mother Gothel standing over the brothers. They lay unconscious at her feet. "You were right, Mother," said Rapunzel tearfully. Meanwhile, Maximus watched from nearby as Flynn's boat sailed across the harbor and crashed into the kingdom's dock. The guards immediately threw him into prison. It was there that Flynn ran into the Stabbington brothers once again, locked in their own cell. They admitted that Mother Gothel had double-crossed them all. Suddenly, the pub thugs arrived. They broke Flynn out of jail and launched him over the prison wall, right onto Maximus's back. The heroes were off to rescue Rapunzel. Back in the tower, Rapunzel held the small kingdom flag in her hand. She looked at the golden sun symbol, then gazed at her paintings on the ceiling and noticed something amazing. She had been painting the kingdom symbol her entire life. A series of images flashed through her mind. The lanterns released each year, the mosaic of royal family, the crown she had found. Suddenly, Rapunzel realized the shocking truth. I'm the lost princess, she proclaimed to Mother Gothel. Rapunzel caught Mother Gothel's arm as the scheming woman tried to justify her actions. You were wrong about the world, and you were wrong about me. And I will never let you use my hair again. Mother Gothel wrested her arm away and fell backward into a mirror, shattering it. You want me to be the bad guy? She asked. Time now. I'm the bad guy. Flynn and Maximus soon arrived at the tower. Rapunzel! Rapunzel! Let down your hair, Flynn called. Golden hair concealed to the ground. Cascaded to the ground. Relieved, Flynn began to climb. Rapunzel, I thought I'd never see you again, he said as he stepped through the window, but it wasn't Rapunzel who was waiting for him. Mother Gothel captured and wounded Flynn. Rapunzel, who was bound in the middle of the room, watched in horror. As Flynn collapsed to the floor, Mother Gothel dragged Rapunzel toward the trap door, but Rapunzel fought Gothel with all her strength. For every minute of the rest of my life, I will fight. I will never stop trying to get away from you, but if you let me save him, I will go with you. I promise. Mother Gothel agreed and untied her. She knew Rapunzel never broke a promise. Rapunzel rushed to Flynn's side and placed her hair over his wound. No, Rapunzel, I can't let you do this. Flynn pleaded. He would rather die than allow Rapunzel to be imprisoned forever by Mother Gothel. Flynn touched Rapunzel's cheek and smiled at her. Then he grabbed one of the shreds of the broken mirror and cut off her hair. It instantly turned brown and lost its healing power. With the magical hair gone, Mother Gothel instantly aged hundreds of years and turned to dust. Rapunzel grabbed Flynn's hand and held it against what was left of her hair. She began to sing, but the magic was gone. Flynn closed his eyes and his head fell back. He was gone. As Rapunzel began to cry, a golden tear fell upon Flynn's cheek. Suddenly, the tear began to grow and spread across Flynn's body, healing his wound completely. Flynn's eyes opened again. Rapunzel wrapped her arms around him as the two of them shared their first kiss. Flynn and Maximus took Rapunzel straight to the castle. The king and queen rushed to embrace her. overcome with joy that their daughter had finally returned to them. Rapunzel felt her parents' love surrounded her as they all held tightly to one another, a family once more. The entire kingdom celebrated Princess Rapunzel's return. Hundreds of glowing lanterns were once again launched into the sky. Their light had finally guided Rapunzel home, along with the dreams of their friends and family. Rapunzel and Flynn's dreams came true. They found everlasting love and happiness and lived happily ever after. And that was the end of Rapunzel. That was a long story, guys. My goodness, it's 46 minutes. Whew. So I'm going to read one of these 5-minute stories and then we're done. Goodness gracious, hang on. Okay, we are back and we are going to do one of Winnie the Pooh's 5-minute stories. And it's called The Sleepover. Comfortable Piglet, Pooh asked. He was tucking his friend into a dresser drawer that had been made into a bed just at the right size for a piglet. Oh yes, Pooh, thank you ever so much, Piglet replied. The two friends were having a best friend sleepover, which, as far as they could tell, had to involve sleeping over something. I suppose you could say that I'm sleeping over the other dresser drawer, said Piglet. Pooh nodded. He looked around his house. Now I wonder what I should sleep over. Piglet looked around too, but there seemed to be just one place that was well suited for Pooh, his own bed. So that in the end, that's where Pooh decided to sleep over. That's what Pooh decided to sleep over. Well, good night, Piglet, said Pooh. He blew out the candle and climbed into bed. Good night, Pooh Bear, Piglet replied. Piglet laid in the darkness, Pooh's room comfortable in his drawer. What a wonderful best friend sleepover it had been so far, he thought. First, Piglet and Pooh had enjoyed a before bedtime snack. Next, they had put on their pajamas. Then they made up a bedtime story together. Of course, it was always fun spending time with Pooh, although there was something about being at Pooh's house at bedtime that was so different from being at Piglet's own house, at bedtime. As he lay there in a dresser drawer, with his eyes wide open, it occurred to Piglet that the darkness at Pooh's house was much darker than it was at his own house. So Piglet rolled over and pulled up the covers. Then he closed his eyes tight and tried to fall asleep, but nothing happened. Piglet opened one eye and peeked out into the darkness. That's when he noticed that it was very quiet in Pooh's room, much quieter than the quiet in Piglet's own room at night. In particular, the quiet was very calming. Was coming from the direction of Pooh's head. or excuse me, Pooh's bed, where Piglet's first best friend was fast asleep, while Piglet lay wide awake, and then that was the quietest quiet of all. Pooh? Piglet whispered. Pooh Bear, he called out a little louder this time. He didn't want to wake up Pooh. Then Piglet wondered if perhaps Pooh was awake but had just not heard him. Still, there was no answer. Piglet tried his best again to fall asleep. Then he heard a soft, low rumbling. It was curiously similar to the sound of a sleeping bear snoring. As Piglet listened, the sound grew louder and louder, and then softer and softer, and then louder and louder, over and over again. Was it the sound of an approaching heffalump? Piglet wondered. The sound continued. Pooh! Oh, dear! Piglet shouted, jumping out of the door and running to Pooh's bedside. He shook Pooh and he shouted, Wake up! Wake up! Oh, please, Pooh. Pooh said drowsily. Stirring up, he climbed out of bed and walked over to light a candle. When it was lit, he found Piglet hiding under the covers in Pooh's bed. Why, Piglet, said Pooh. What's the matter? Piglet was trembling so much that it was hard to get the words out. It's that horrible noise, Pooh, he stammered. Piglet listened to more the noise so he could point it out, didn't realize he couldn't hear it. That's funny, said Piglet as he peeked out from under the covers. The noise stopped. As soon as you woke up, Pooh. Said Pooh. He shrugged, then he yawned. I guess that means we can go back to sleep. Piglet weren't so sure. He didn't want to hurt Pooh's feelings, but he didn't think he could fall asleep in Pooh's room. Pooh Bear, said Piglet timidly, I don't mean to be a bad best friend, but do you think we might, have the rest of our best friends sleep over another night? I'm just not used to sleeping anywhere but my own house. Pooh sat down on the bed and put his arm around Piglet. I understand, Piglet, he said. We can have the rest of our best friends sleep over wherever you like. Pooh helped Piglet gather his things, including his very own pillow. Then, hand in hand, Pooh and Piglet began to walk through the 100-acre wood. It was a short stroll through the forest to Piglet's house. The stars were still twinkling in the night sky when the two best friends arrived. Here you are, Piglet, Pooh said as they entered Home Sweet Home. Piglet was very glad to be at his own house. Oh, thank you, Pooh, he said. Thank you so much for understanding and for walking me back. I suppose you'll need to get home to bed now. Pooh considered the question. That does sound like the thing to do, he said. But first I might sit down for a little rest, Pooh noticed a comfortable-looking chair just for a few minutes, of course. While Piglet put away his things, Pooh sat down in the chair. It was even more comfortable than it looked. Pooh put up his feet. Then he decided to rest his eyes just for a moment. And by the time Piglet came back, Pooh was fast asleep. He was even making a soft, low rumbling sound, but in the comfort of his own house, it did not strike Piglet as anything other than the sound of one sleeping bear snoring. Piglet covered his best friend with a small blanket and slipped a pillow under his head. "Sweet dreams, Pooh Bear," he whispered. Then Piglet climbed into his own bed and drifted off to sleep. It seemed that he and Pooh were having their best friend sleepover after all. Thank you all for joining us today. And I know it's been a long story. But, yeah, so thank you all for joining us, like I said. And there's my Isabella Evie, gorgeous girl. So y'all have a blessed week and have a great week. Not just a good week. Much love, everyone. Bye-bye.